great future. We're talking real money.
Okay, so be honest. This is not directed at those of you who are well into retirement because you already know. But for those of you who are working your way toward retirement, how confident are you that that will be, one, possible, and two, financially comfortable? Because it turns out a pretty sizable portion of your fellow Americans are not too confident about their ability to retire well. And by well, we mean with enough money to take care of your needs and maybe some of the wants, too.
Yeah. By the way, they use the term retire securely, that's slightly problematic because secure to you is what to you. I mean, that's a bit of a challenge. And there's
all of them actually are a bit of a challenge. What anything means, it's all fuzzy.
Yeah, Natixis Investment Managers did the survey, 750 Americans polled. People worried about inflation, of course, cuts to government benefits, et cetera. And 1 out of 5 that they surveyed said, I don't think this is going to work out. In fact, they used the term, 1 out of 5 said that it would take a miracle to retire securely. That's which is pretty strong words. And then somebody said they don't need a miracle, they need a plan. Wait, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Kind of mentioned that.
Sounds kind of like us here on Talking Real Money. And the us is me, Don McDonald. Forgot to introduce myself.
Yeah, please.
And him, Tom Cock. Forgot to introduce him. But you guys,
it's okay.
If you're listening, if you've listened more than once, you know who the heck we are.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. And there are, into that plan, and we have mentioned this several times, and I think there's videos, if you want to go look at videos, at our retirement stuff, all that stuff, all of these things about retirement have to go in there, right? Yeah. Expected income from Social Security, pensions, personal savings, lifestyle expenses. And then there's all kinds of tools if you want to do this on your own. We've heard of Bolden, of course, and Empower. They have investor.gov. I've never been to that website.
Actually, I have.
It sounds more like you.
It's not really that helpful.
Is it going to be a straight line kind of thing? It's not going to be necessarily, looking at a variety of potential outcomes, but there's a lot of things to consider, right? Inflation, longevity, returns on your portfolio. And in this article, somebody said that's where a financial advisor, I think, comes into the equation. Okay, I think that probably makes sense. And by the way, for anybody, even if you're doing this on your own from the previously mentioned websites, I would still have a professional review it, because you may think it looks great, but there may be 10 things that a professional says, wait, you didn't put that in there. You got to consider this in there, all those other things that people just don't do. But this is a fascinating topic. It's one that we have covered many times because it comes up. It's basically the topic du jour almost any time, right? People come in, the first thing they say is, do I have enough for retirement? Can I retire?
Because that's the biggest thing. The biggest long-term, now that we live a long time, I mean, as human beings, 200 years ago, we were dead by 50. We live a long time, and that's our big unknown, is what happens when I either don't want to work anymore to make a living or can't work anymore to make a living. How do I support myself and my family and still have some fun?
Yeah, and the thing that I see as a practitioner, and I'm lucky because I get to meet and chat with so many of you. In fact, it's been a great week because the advisors were out of town this weekend. I got to make all the calls to people that called in. I love it. So I talked to a lot of you. And
he really does, by the way. He really, truly loves it.
I like it. So here's the thing. Most people have the big problem I see is recency bias. Well, stocks just always go up, right? Well, they don't always go up. That's kind of a problem. And they don't consider the fact that there's a partner in any of that money that you take out to pay the bills, and that's called the government, which could be, regular income tax or whatever other taxes you pay on your brokerage account. That's one. Number two, I see a lot of people. To me, it reminds me of having a child. Don, is there a correct time to have a child if you're if you're married or in a relationship?
It's better to have it during the day than at night because you get better care.
For me, it'd be early in the morning. Because,
early in the morning. But it's better to do it when you're younger and you have more energy. I would go with that.
True. Yeah. That's true.
At your age, I would suggest against having one at your age.
I think I already pushed the top out on that one.
Yeah, I think you did push the envelope just a little.
Not enough. So, but there is, what I'm getting at is there's no perfect time. There's no perfect time to retire either. I in my own family, my brother, the educator, he wants to move back to the West Coast, and he's watching his holdings like, well, today it looks really great. I'm like, you can't look at it that way because tomorrow could look bad. No. And you're not just saving that money to retirement. You got to have it invested through retirement, right?
Right. Because it's not just to get you to where, okay, I can pay this big honking bill, I can buy this house, or no. That's got to last you. This is where that 20%, I think, derive most of their fear is from that making it last and generate an income when you only have Social Security.
Which I do believe is problematic for most, depending on what kind of lifestyle you live today. Because I think the average Social Security benefit today is like $1,600 a month or something. It's not very big, and that would be very tricky to live on. It won't get you an
apartment in Seattle.
No, you won't even be able to look at one in Seattle for that amount. But so there's no perfect time for it. And yes, you should have a plan, and it should be, I believe, reviewed. And you shouldn't count on the money that you have saved today because that will go up and that will go down. But here's the other part, because remember the articles about the 20% that say,
I was going to say,
it's going to take a miracle.
We got to help them. How are we going to help them?
Well, don't give up. But here's things to consider. For one thing, and I see this so regularly, if it's going to be tight, then you really should delay Social Security for most people. Wait until at least full retirement age or 70 when you're going to get more, because so many people still believe, well, I'm 62, I just take it now. No, it doesn't work that way.
Well, I think the bigger message is for that 20%, you have to do something that human beings have been doing for as long as we've been on the planet, and that's a long time, and that is adapt. Be flexible. You have to change your expectations. And, you talked about delaying Social Security. You may need to delay retirement. You may need to work longer, not collect the Social Security so those checks can grow, because that's going to help. If your check doubles between 62 and 70, which it comes pretty close to doing.
It does, yeah.
Then that alone is going to help you. But those extra 8 years of earning money and then learn the lesson from the past. Why aren't you comfortable with the thought of retirement? Probably because you didn't save enough. And I know everybody says, well, life got in the way. Life did.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. I know it does. I've been there, done that. But you do at some point have to say that thing, that place I want to live, that electronics I want, that computer I want, that trip I want to take to Disney, I'm going to have to skip those.
Yeah, or I think you mentioned something there and you downplayed it a bit. For many people, sometimes you could leave your full-time employee, but you might work part-time. And by the way, it could also supply health care, where people have a tendency to forget about that. There's part-time jobs where you can get health care paid for as well. So part-time work. And then here's the one that I know it's painful to say, but many people that we talk to have considerable assets in their home, right? They have a lot of money there, and you might consider, don't shoot me, a reverse mortgage.
No, in desperate situation, that is where a reverse mortgage makes sense. Is in a situation where you really have no other choice. You're at 68, 69 years old. You have literally nothing saved. You're getting ready. You have a decent job, but you've saved nothing. You're making the mortgage payment, all of these things, but you've got equity in the house. You can go to retirement and then take a paycheck out of your house for the rest of your life or for as long as you own that house.
Yeah, and the other one you mentioned, again, which I think makes sense, is retire in stages. full-time to part-time to less, but again, it would allow you to delay Social Security. It would allow you maybe to save something you don't have, but you could certainly pay the bills while that Social Security check is growing. And here's the thing that the article, I think, fails to mention, and you poo-pooed it a bit, and that is in retirement for the 80% of the people that have the money that they don't think about is purpose. Social life, daily routine, staying active, healthy diet, maintaining hobbies. They even mentioned practicing gratitude, which I think makes sense. Those are things that should not be overlooked or poo-pooed because we know people that are retired who have not been happy to do so.
If you don't have the money, all of those other things are going to be impossible to pursue.
Well, that's true. You're right. Yeah.
If you're not paying the bills, you're certainly not going to practice gratitude.
Feel better about yourself. Give back.
I can't eat, but I'm going to go give back to the community. I'm going to give to charity all of the money I don't have. No, you got to have the money. I'm sorry. I know that sounds selfish
well, about your retirement, and that's a good point, by the way, is if there are others who are dependent on you as you're entering retirement, you have to tell them no. I can't do it. If it's your kids or whoever it is, you have to tell them, sorry, I got to take care of me. Selfish is correct at that time. Absolutely, 110%. I agree.
And actually get selfish in advance of that, too.
Sure.
Before you even get to retirement, it's time to tell the kid, the 45-year-old on the couch in the basement, get the heck out of the house.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Seen that happen. Lots of questions from talkingrealmoney.com. Click on Contact Us. This comes from Ted in Renton. He says, on your September 4th podcast, you mentioned a 30% plus return. Now, Ted, we're not telling you to go buy something because it's had a great year, but let me finish. He said, which exchange-traded fund in international equities has returned greater than 30% in 2025? I have VT-WAX, which is the Vanguard Total World Index, and its 2025 year-to-date return is 14.2. So I looked it up because international small-cap values had an amazing year. In fact, Avantis has a fund, AVDV. Now, I'm not saying sell everything, run out and buy it, because guess what? It's already up over 38% year-to-date, so may not have a whole lot, but you always own it. That's the point. You don't just go buy it today.
And here's the thing. Is if you've been listening to us for a long time, you would have done that years ago and you would have been in it. Because we've been telling you to be in internationals before internationals were cool.
Which they've been lately, but not for a long time leading up to this.
No, they were awful and nobody wanted to invest in them. Because it's like, well, here's what people say. This is what they said in the past. They're not going up.
Yeah.
No. They weren't going up. They might go up. They have gone up in the past, and they'll probably go up again. So you want to be in the 30%ers? You got to be in all of the asset classes, and you will occasionally be in the 30%ers.
Yeah, but to answer your question, Ted, AVDV 38.4% year to date. From Holbrook, New York.
That's Tom's recommendation, apparently.
Tiziano writes us, hello, gentlemen, and potentially Roxy. Let's say there's a 529 account started 15 years earlier with, say, $70,000 extra, not needed for education. Can Roth contributions be made over the next 5 years to the beneficiary, assuming they have a job, and then a new beneficiary be named? Once the 5-year Roth contribution is completed by child one, another 5 years needed for the new beneficiary. The answer to that is I don't know. You can always change the 529 beneficiary. That I do know. But I don't know if that changes the rules on what he's referring to is the fact that now with 529 plans, you can make those contributions to the beneficiary's Roth IRA. I'm planning on doing this with my daughter, and they'll get a $35,000 head start. But you have to do it each. I know, I think I'm right. Means you didn't mention only as much as they make that year, and the maximum is $7,000 a year. So, but you can do that for 5 years. I don't know, and Don's looking into this feverishly as I speak, whether or not you can simply change the beneficiary and add them to the Roth contributions.
I'm still looking it up. I'm a slow typist. Hold on. 30. Yeah, okay, got that. Well, let's see. Yeah,
I know you can name a new beneficiary.
You can change. You could change the beneficiary on half of the account. You got a $70,000 account. You can assign. You can leave half of it with beneficiary A, who originally had the whole 70.
Yep.
You can move $35,000 to beneficiary B, and then you can make those Roth contributions, at least according to what I am reading. And, of course, that's the big qualifier because I am not the IRS.
Yeah, there's all kinds of codicils that you can never find.
I hate tax
questions. Thank you.
I hate them. I hate them.
Social Security could be worse because there's another bunch of silly little things in there that you don't always pay attention
I think
to.
it's just different. Social Security only has like 100 variations on the theme, whereas the tax code has a billion variations on the
momentary tax code, which, of course,
whatever it is today.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right. Melissa writes us from Loveland, Ohio. This is lengthy, so listen up. I'm an RN working in medical device sales for 13 years. When it comes to finances, I feel like how I imagine a person who has a loved one in a hospital and doesn't have any medical people in their family at their mercy. Wow, that's pretty astute, actually. I've recently made listening to books, podcasts while driving, I drive a lot, about retiring and retiring early, my part-time job. I'm 58, and I want to retire now. And I recently paid to have Facet, F-A-C-E-T.
That'd be Facet.
There's flat
no
fee fiduciary.
Or U in it.
Thank you. Answer a few million questions I've written down. I haven't received the full plan yet, and we just had our first information session. Seems legit, not trying to sell me anything at least. Do you have any thoughts or experience with Facet?
Facet. Well, let's see now. It's F-A-C-E-T, right? Not Faucet.
That's correct.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. Facet is they are solely a registered investment advisor. Yay. That is really encouraging. They have a relatively short Form ADV Part 2. Oh, that is encouraging. They manage about $5 billion in assets. That says a lot. They charge... Where are their fees? I thought it was supposed to be on this page. I'm generally a pretty fast Form ADV reader. That would be on page 8. I missed it. I went right past it. See, when your fees are on page 8, that's also encouraging because that means that it's not incredibly complicated. They have financial planning fees, and then they have a flat annual membership fee.
Interesting.
That is something I have not seen.
So you pay them a set amount every year, and they're there for you, hopefully, for whatever you've got coming up.
Yeah, they don't charge a fee for investment management or advisory fees. And then, let's see. It really does. It says it's based on the needs. Okay, hold on. Finding it in the fine print. Facet notes that depending on the member's assets under management, the fixed planning fee that Facet charges in respect of financial planning services may be in excess of the 2% asset-based fee industry standard.
Wait,
I think 2 is...
That's outrageous. That's not the standard.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, there's where... Okay, hold on.
Red flag.
Hold on. I got the fees. I found the fees. They charge for complete planning and asset management, like what we do for all our clients. They charge $7,600 a year. So
on
$1 million portfolio, that's 0.76.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay.
That's fair. That's actually fair. On $500,000, it starts to look more expensive, but that's normal.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty fair. Yeah, for complete planning, that's $7,600 a year. So, to me, that sounds pretty darn reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. She goes on. Melissa does from Loveland, Ohio. Next, I had moved my 401k to an IRA. She says Northeastern Mutual back in 2016. I think she means Northwestern Mutual.
Well, there may be. Who knows?
I don't know them. Yeah. I'm finding the fees that I do see are costing me about $4,000. Also, on an account my husband, they're charging about $4,000. So a total of 8% or $8K a year, 1.35% up to $800,000. Then you get a break. Eye roll, she says. Well, after coming across Fire Your Financial Advisor and J.L. Collins' Simple Path to Wealth, I'm way leaning towards moving that to Vanguard's VT Sachs and VBTLX. Mm-hmm. This advisor is a friend's son. Of course, I do feel bad, but not that bad to pull my money. No, and you shouldn't, by the way. This is a business relationship.
You shouldn't feel at all bad.
Not at all.
I don't care if they're your kid.
I agree.
You love your kid, but if they're working for Northwestern Mutual Life, you don't invest with them. And this is, I'm sure
they're not an investment management place.
They do.
Well, they hold themselves out there, but they're not. They're in the insurance business. I had rolled $140,000 in 2016 and now at $280,000. That doesn't mean much to me. Not so terrible, but made the mistake of asking Perplexity. I don't understand.
Perplexity is AI.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so she's trying to figure out, what I'm getting here is she's trying to figure out, should she just move to VT Sachs and VBTLX? She then goes through her $1.5 million. Husband will get a pension. So I think we're in a good place, but really considering putting the IRA in Vanguard's index fund on my own. Side note, my current 401k through my employer is either Vanguard. I'm sorry, this is way too long. I'm feeling like a fool for not researched all this before. I appreciate any insight. The short answer is, if you're comfortable managing that with a couple index funds, sure. No, Don's clenched up tighter than a Scotsman's fist on a holiday.
Because she's getting enough money. How old was she? Does it say?
I think it said 58 somewhere in here.
She's getting close to retirement.
Yep.
That's why I think the Facet deal, even if she goes for one of the lower tiers, like at $3,500 a year, I think having someone guiding her is going to be pretty valuable. I really do. I think it may be worth the money. It's going to be cheaper than Northwestern Mutual Life, and I need to correct you.
Yeah.
On the Northwestern Mutual thing.
Yes.
No, they are an RIA and a broker dealer.
Okay, they have that.
But
if you just said who. But who are they? I would say they're an insurance company.
No, but they're not anymore.
That's their primary business.
They're pretty big in investment services. So they are
but that's not their core efficiency, as we would say.
But what I'm saying, you got to be careful because you're saying they're not, and they are. They're a registered investment advisor. They are a broker-dealer. They do offer full-service investments. They do offer fee-based planning. They're trying to hold themselves out as a full-service financial services company. All you have to do is watch some of their commercials, and you'll see that. But they are not a 100% fiduciary, and I think that's where they're doing a lot of stuff that isn't just insurance.
And again, if I woke up and said, "Who should I go see?" it wouldn't be them because that's not what the business started from. That's not who they're in the business of selling insurance.
But even then, would you go see Merrill? They
no,
weren't.
I would not. But you're right. That was their core efficiency, I guess, back in the day when you did old style. Pick a few stocks, here's a couple mutual funds, and get on with your portfolio. But no, you're right. But it wouldn't be anyway. So just to finish the fire for poor Melissa, the short answer is Don's correct. You're getting close to retirement. Paying somebody 0.76 is way more reasonable than what you're getting at Northwestern, and putting everything together and then thinking about what you might do next. I think that's not. And by the way, VT Sachs is just the U.S. market, I believe. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
So that's another weakness in your portfolio because you want to have the aforementioned internationals in there too.
But the other thing the plug that I want to make for I don't know how Facet manages money. I know nothing about that. By the way, VT's. I just want to double check on VT Sachs. Isn't VT Sachs the predecessor to VT Wax, though?
I think VT Sachs is just U.S.
Yeah, I think that's just U.S. You're right.
Yeah,
okay, but the Facet thing, they do offer lower tiers, less expensive annually.
As you get more money there.
No. As if you need less service. For example, now that you're you're way ahead of retirement, you may not need the full package because that has some estate planning and a lot of stuff you need when you're in retirement. You could go for the $3,500, the $4,000 a year package, at less than 40 basis points.
Which is pretty cheap. By the way, should I do the same thing with my hair guy? Because I got less hair now, and maybe I should be telling him, no, you don't need $40 for that. That's what I'm asking you. Should I go and say, way less hair?
No, wait. Okay, I'm going to take care of your analogy.
Yeah, okay.
If he gives you more services, if he shampoos it,
yeah,
if he
does.
cuts
I always tell him you don't need to because my hair's pretty clean, but okay.
You know, if you cut out some of those things, you go, okay, skip the shampoo, I want a reduction. That would be a reasonable cut to ask.
Yeah, I hate to do that to people. They're hardworking people.
But,
by the way,
I'm just saying she may not need the full service.
No, that's fair.
Right now.
That's fair. But I like what you said. Big picture. If you have $1.5 million, somebody should probably be looking at least over your shoulder to make sure you're not messing with.
Point.
Yeah,
you
I think
really
that's fair.
are.
I think that's good.
And by the way, that's a good point to be at.
Absolutely.
That's a milestone. You know, when you're at the point where everybody could use an advisor, but not everybody can get one, the right kind of advisor, because the services are so expensive, the flat cost of them, that it's not affordable for most people unless you're roboing. But when you've reached that 7-figure threshold, it's time to start looking at somebody who's personal and advising you. And, you know, even if they cost you 1% a year, it's probably going to end up being worth it.
Yeah, I think so. And if you just have a question, you can go to talkingrealmoney.com, click on Contact Us. If you do want some personal help, if you do want a review of your portfolio, kind of get an idea where you are headed for retirement or in retirement, you can go to that same aforementioned talkingrealmoney.com and click on Meet an Advisor.
I was waiting for you to say it. See, I was going to say, I was sitting here waiting. I was going to go, Tom has obviously been studying the website.
Apparently
because
not well
he said,
enough.
Contact us.
Yeah,
and
I got that part right.
I was waiting because I thought he never gets Meet an Advisor right. So I'm just going to give him a minute.
Please.
And they go to, and then you take a big, long pause, and I'm going, he doesn't remember it.
Sorry.
Meet an advisor.
Okay. Close.
All right.
So, use us, please. That's why we're here.
Use
to be
us.
Used. That's why we're here.
We love
every
being
day.
used.
Absolutely.
I'm Don McDonald. That's Tom Cock. Use him more than you use me. And I'll be here. Hey, you're using me. You just don't realize. Who's doing all the editing of these podcasts? Who?
You're waiting for an affirmation here of some kind?
Who's doing all the editing?
That would be you. Okay, yes. Yeah. We all bow down.
Creating the art with ChatGPT?
With ChatGPT.
God, all the art since April. All of the show art
and the
since
stuff is
April
good, man. I
has been created by ChatGPT. And if you haven't had a chance to look at the art, sometimes it's really, I give prompts, and we go through probably, on average, we probably go through about 7 or 8 iterations. I go, no, tweak that, move that over there. No, that's wrong. That was not what I had in mind. I need a little more drama. And so we go through all these iterations, but some of the stuff has been great. Like the Lego looking Dave Ramsey. It's
Did
just
he call
awesome.
to complain about it yet?
No, I think it's flattering. It's like he's a cartoon character.
Thanks a
It's
lot,
really
man. That's
funny.
good. That's good.
I'd be flattered if somebody made a caricature of me like that.
I still have the one that somebody did with the Wall Street Journal, the sketch that they did of a person, and then they mocked up the headline about me being drunk and arrested, blah, 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 and printed out the page. So thanks a lot, whoever that was. Appreciate it. But
cute.
No, don't do that again.
Anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And remember, pretty much every day you can go somewhere on the internet and listen to this crazy little thing called Talking Real Money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appellate Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.